live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terry Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive. And everyone, Tarian, everyone in the Caribbean, in what I have to say, the lesser Antilles, the greater Antilles, do I have to go right or wrong?
Yes.
You know, and include, of course, we include in the Guyana, Suriname, all those out there in the South.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we are here this evening with you. I'm Jennifer Gibbons Joseph. Of course, with me is my colleague.
Hi, I am Terry Ann Joseph Brathwaite. We are co-creators of this great Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive. Yes.
Right.
Jennifer.
And this, let me tell you, all those who are here with us this evening, this is really a great week for me, for the country. In spite of the pandemic, it is a week of celebration. We are celebrating, this is Holy Week. So we have Easter right here on Sunday and Monday. Yesterday, of course, was the celebration for our spiritual Baptist, Chowder Baptist Liberation Day. And at Connections, of course, we want to wish the entire Baptist community, for the entire week of celebration. I know this is really a time for you a time for prayer, but a time to celebrate being liberated, being able to practice your religion without any sort of pressure. So that's a great, great feeling. So we celebrate with you. And yeah, Terry, and we have one more.
Yes, our Hindu brothers and sisters are celebrating the recognition of Holi or Phagwa, which is a spring festival which celebrates the harvest. It celebrates productivity, fertility. It celebrates the protection of life. And it's so amazing, Jennifer, to notwithstanding the pandemic and notwithstanding all the things, that we live in a part of the world where in this weekend for the major groups, and I want to apologize in advance just in case there's an Islamic celebration that we've not mentioned, just in case, but there might very well be. That in this one period, we have such momentous celebrations of different religions. And we do this while on the other side of the world, wars are being fought because of religion.
Yeah.
And we know that for Christians, this is Holy Week is a commemoration of Christ's suffering, his crucifixion, and then the glory of his resurrection, which is what makes us all Christian. It is the reason for our faith. So, but we also have another thing.
Yes, that's why. So yes, a week of reflection, a week of celebration, and a week for me.
Yes. So in case
celebrating my birthday on Good Friday.
Yes, Jennifer is going to be. You see how she's all in royal regal blue. I told her, oh gosh, she looks so gorgeous today. I love the blue shirt. That royal blue is such a beautiful color.
Thank you.
Jennifer, and I did my best. You're kind of looking like a little extra snazzy, because it's Jennifer's birthday. I have to I have to pull myself up together.
Right.
But Jennifer, I have to say happy birthday to you in a real significant way, because you are going to be 70.
So hold on, she's making me a year older, by the way. 69.
69. No, like I was
That's
59,
okay.
I was 59 and I going into my 60th year. So you're finishing your 59, your 69th year.
I'm finishing my 68.
And you're going to start, good. You're going to start your 69th year to continue that journey. And
Yes.
apologies, because I quick to read 60 and I quick for you to read 70. I like the zeros. But you know, what I'd really love to do today for so many of us, you are in the middle of your third act.
Yeah.
Because we're saying the third act is that 50 to 80. We know that for many 50 to 60-year-olds, they haven't as yet begun to really focus on this transition as they should. For many 60-year-olds, depending on where they are in that decade, they are still looking around and wondering, well, not knowing whether they're on the second act stage or they have moved off. And it is really in these latter years of the 60th decade, the sixth decade, that you really begin to do one of two things. You ease in gracefully to the joy and privilege of life and being able to live, or you get into the depths of misery. And I think that you, Jennifer, really do represent that easing and grace and joy of living, you know. And I really want to talk today about truly, how do you feel? How do you feel? And I think that would be a good discussion, because I think people have a difficulty just dealing with their age. So how do you feel?
Yes.
Jennifer?
I feel great. And yes, because it's a week of reflection and celebration. And let me reflect a bit. And it's interesting when you said there about age. Some people are very ashamed to say their age. I grew up within an era that when you're reaching 50, you don't say age anymore. You don't tell people your age.
Yeah.
And that is because, you know, from the time you hit 50, you see yourself as you're old, you know, and you feel that you shouldn't get yourself involved in certain things. You should be winding down, not revving up. All right. And with that mindset, I think that mindset is detrimental to people who reach age 50 plus, you know. So I would say for me, I have never been afraid to say my age. I have never seen myself as being too old to do anything. So I did mention in maybe one of the programs we had, you know, speaking about goals, etc., that I, from very young, would set my goals in 10-year periods.
Yeah.
All right. So from the time I knew I was entering 50, I started planning what will happen between 50 and 60. And nowhere in that planning I was seeing anything negative. I wasn't seeing myself being too old to do anything. Actually, what I knew I had to put in place is things that would keep me going. And when I said things, I would say one, and which is what we talk about all the time. And persons within my age group will understand if they didn't do it then, they still have to do it now. And one is health. We need to always look at our health. And at that time, at 50, I was still within the insurance field, at management, but active, very active on the field. And I saw the need to, if you want to remain active, I knew though, although I had an opportunity to go beyond 60, you know, you can go, as long as you're healthy and you're active and productive, you will be allowed to continue.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that. I saw, as I said, in stages that 10 years, 50 to 60, that is the time I want to really reach the peak of my career and do all the things I want to do. I'm an achiever. I'm a goal setter. I like to achieve. So I wrote down all the things that I wanted to achieve, and it involved me staying active, staying current, have my brain very, very good there, So at that stage, I decided to go back and study, to look at areas that, listen, if I am not going to be in this industry up to 60, what can I do? And I'm telling you, I start planning from 50. Make the decisions with family, because family at that time too was very critical, because I had to look at the education, making sure, which is my goal for my children, my two daughters, that they educated at the level that they can take care of themselves and, etc., and not depend on me. Because when my goals, and that's what we have to look at too in planning, that you have family commitments, but you don't want to carry the heavy commitments in through the 60s.
Yeah.
So I for 50 to 60 for me was a very, very active year, extremely active, planning in different ways, as I said, studying, ensuring that meet the commitments, family commitments, etc. So I didn't have time.
You were building your stage.
I was building the stage that I'm on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, building the stage that I'm on now. So yes, Terian and to our listeners, you have the challenges, but you see, when you have it written down, you're passionate, you're excited, and you can see, you have that you paint that picture, you know what you're going to you know what you want, and you're taking steps to achieve it. Terian, whatever come in your way, you could deal with it, because that excitement and that drive and being happy with who you are, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Definitely. Great. So you spent your 5th decade building the stage.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so that would have taken you from 50 to 60. And what were you doing from 60 to now? Trying out the stage?
No, because I planned for the stage. At 60, I decided, okay, it's time to move into a different phase. And my phase was, I always liked dealing with people. I came out of an industry where it was an industry of service, helping persons, etc. So I didn't want to sell any product or anything. I wanted the next 10, and as I said, the 60 to the 70, to be one of really of service, but service where I am not charity, but where it's a business I'm building also.
Yeah.
All right. And so prior to 60, that's when I did my studies. I became certified also in the last 3 years prior to retirement. I was already as internationally certified as a life coach, and I did some other courses to make sure to support, the life coaching aspect. So when I at 60, 59, late 59, 60, that was it. I severed all ties, I should say, within the insurance. I didn't keep any contract or anything, and moved straight into coaching, setting up my practice, opening up my practice to clients.
Jen, I want to talk about that a little bit, because that's not a normal decision, because you were not an unsuccessful life insurance agent. You were a very successful life insurance agent. You ended as one of the senior
in insurance. Yeah, I was very senior. I actually one of the only women at that time. I was the only senior female, manager. Going to so they had a level of branch manager, assistant branch manager. I left as assistant branch manager. And at that time, I was the only female assistant branch manager working with the men. So yes, I would consider myself very successful. My goal at the time, though, was to reach the highest as a branch manager before I leave. But the pressure to get here, I decided, I don't need that. I'm good, you know?
Because the question I was going to ask and how I was going to put it in is that given your client base, given your track record and given your success, it would not have been difficult for you to continue with a contract and continuing servicing your clients and operating as a corporate agent. And what caused you to decide, no, I don't have to do that. I want to start over?
Because that time, my focus, what pushed me was ensuring that my daughters finished university. So my drive of going out there, earning that extra income, really pushing, was to see them through university. And the timing again was timed with age. I do things with age, all right? So my decision was, do I want to continue? And anyone who is right now in the insurance industry, especially at management level, will tell you it is a pressure. And yes, you can live in management, you can have a contract and still continue to sell. It still is a pressure. And for me, when you're younger, you have that, you're in better health and you could really cope with the different stress level. I saw that stress level for me literally killing me. you know? So
one of the things that, and for the reason that I really do admire it and I see it in terms of you making that decision, it is a bridge that many of our cohort have to cross and are afraid to cross. Now, I could very well understand if your children had not finished education, some of those benchmarks that you had set for yourself had not been met. But for so many people, the fear of uncertainty, changing into something new, even though you have everything that you need, you have the house, the children educated, you have the car, you have some savings put away, you can take that freedom, take yourself back. Maxine Walters in the US Congress, I'm taking back my time.
Yes.
I'm taking back my time. That you decided, and it was it a scary thing for you, or did you decide, look, you put the pressure on one side and you put the unknown on the other side, and the unknown looked more attractive than the pressure? What was that transition process like for you?
The transition, I was used to working under pressure and making decisions under pressure, because being a single parent with all these great goals, I know about working under pressure. But what helped or what propelled me was I put so much pressure on myself in the last 5 years to achieve, to earn this income, to push again. At that time, I was thinking of going to the highest level, that I became, stress was literally killing me. And I had to sit back and say, hey, do you want to die on the job, which is a reality? Continue under pressure, because there is wasn't no certainty. These are my goals, but there's no certainty. And within the insurance industry, at the managerial level, the quotas are, they just keep rising and rising. So I had to make that decision. It wasn't easy, but again, when you have set goals, and we are in Holy Week, and let me tell you, Terry, and you see faith and prayers, for me, that's number one. I pray a lot. I set the goals, I write it down, and I pray to go with it. All right. So a lot of prayers, and I go within myself and really decide, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You have to learn, and those again who going through, the transition period, we have to release certain ego. I had to come in from a level, earning a certain income. It is scary when you know that, hey, you don't know what's happening out there. You're going into the unknown. All you have, yes, you have your tools, and your tools will be your skills, your knowledge, your experience, etc. So that's the tools, right?
Yeah.
And build that faith in yourself. It is difficult, but when you set your goals and you're looking at 10 years, you have to let go at some stage. It's still no guarantee. And for those who in the traditional companies and have to retire at 60, there's no guarantee out there. Whatever you set, you have to make it work.
You have to do the work.
And you have to believe in yourself. So for me, I would say it was difficult, but I spoke to my daughters on my decision. I got your support because they knew me. We lived together. They understood, how we have achieved and why we have achieved, and it come from working hard. So, and they said, go for it. And I decided, let me, I had things in place. I remember a very close colleague of mine, male, said, Jennifer, where are you going to earn that type of money outside here? He said, there is no way you can earn that income that you have been earning. And I knew that, but I wasn't scared because, again, Terry, and we're in a different stage. If you're retiring from any company, you're not going to be going out there with that same income. You have to adjust accordingly and go with your plan.
One of the things, and I think that is, boy, that's an important point to point out to people. So many people, when they look forward, coming onto the third act stage, the difference about being on the third act stage, it is not the second act. And many people think that to be successful on the third act, they carry second act criteria onto the third act stage. And the biggest success criteria in the second act is your income. Your income determines what you can and can't do. But if you're designing a new stage and you have met all of your goals, whether it is the mortgage, the children, the car, the whatever it is, you have met it. Then when you look at the third act, it's a whole new playing field.
Yes.
And the income requirements are different. So you don't have to be pressured or shackled into earning the same kind of income, living in the same way. Did you think about it in that way? Or what was that whole experience like? Because obviously your colleague thought you were mad taking an income cut.
Because my colleagues were looking at one aspect of it, the economic money, because again, to be successful in any sales organization, sales is bringing in the sales, you're bringing in the income, and that's what makes you a success. So the harder you work, of course, the higher your income, etc. But income wasn't driving me.
Yeah.
I looked at my needs, what my goals are, etc. And yes, I needed to earn some income, but that wasn't, I saw going into business, setting up my coaching business, I felt and I was certain that I could earn enough income to meet my expenses and on the new stage. Because the expenses, and we have to take note of that. What do you need on this new stage? I saw my needs were definitely different. I no longer needed, yes, I'm in the public, dealing with the public, but not at the level I was before. So the type of car, so the
Clothes,
all the
shoes,
all the
eating,
glam
drinking,
that came with it.
jewelry.
I didn't need any of that again.
Yes.
I was okay. I didn't. I actually, it was very funny again. I did not change my car.
Mm.
And that was like a rule number one that you should do. And I didn't. All right. I felt, why am I changing the car? I don't need what I need to prove again that I'm a top salesperson or I'm a manager. No, I'm a coach. I am there to help people work out, look at their financial situation, etc. So I looked at I did a budget for this stage. You know, what do you want? What you need? You know, and then again, in looking at the financial situation, and Terry, and you will know about that dealing with entrepreneurship, is that, do I have enough money to last a certain time, at least the 5 years? Because in the first 3 years, this is a completely new business, offering coaching services.
Assume no income.
That, yeah, but have that faith, knowing that it will pick up and keep going. So whereas on the outside to people, they were looking at the money, that the stage was one where I wanted to be. I was free. You see that freedom? I wasn't responsible.
You like to shout up.
I'm telling you, I can relate. I can relate. Liberated. I felt liberated. Total liberation, because my happiness wasn't hinged on the commission, the sales, etc. I have done it, I did it well, and that was that stage.
Yeah.
For me, my happiness was just living life the way I always wanted to, going along, doing my thing,
and Jennifer,
not feeling pressured.
The thing is, what I find that it's such a great lesson that, you know, you have just gone through it and you are going through it, and I can't wait to get there. You know, I keep jumping ahead. I want to be 60 and I want to be 70. But you know, people talk about, this is what makes me happy and this is whatever it is. And people don't very often sit down and say, okay, I will feel happy when I see my children settled, I am comfortable living somewhere, I have friends, I have whatever it is. But they don't sit down and see, what do you need to get to those things? And very often, okay, in the second act again, we have to work. And the act of being employed, or even if you're a homemaker and raising young children, whatever you're doing, there are certain costs that you must incur to be at the top of your game. Even if it is retraining, all right, even if you work in a professional environment, you got to have clothes. Now, even if you look at your budget now, talking about the 50, check the money you're spending on clothes, the money you're spending on car maintenance, the money you're spending on the hairdresser or barber, because these men have to go by the barber every week. For the hair and the beard, and it's $100, $200 a week. You know, just the entertainment, the accessories around life that you need to deliver that happiness to you. To deliver that happiness, because the happiness is that you have to get the mortgage paid, you have to pay for the car, you have to get the kids through school, you have to take care of parents, and it requires a certain amount of money, and a lot of your life is designed around getting that money to be happy, and that's fine, that's second act. And I think what you have done, and you've done it so well, and what I'm really hoping people see is that as you look at the third act, you can now create a whole new stage, and you just clear your mind of the paradigm. All right, what now makes me happy? Seeing that I've gotten all those other things done, and what are the things that I do to make myself happy? Do you need to have a professional wardrobe, a car that looks a certain way, to be able to be seen in certain places, eating out how many times a week or a month or whatever it is, the need for travel all those things that become expense items. So if you decide this is what will make me happy now, you would realize that the income that you require is not the same as the second act.
Okay.
And a whole lot of pressure comes off of you.
Yeah. And you know, Terry, and you're correct. And each person, of course, will be different,
Yeah.
because if my goal was to continue enjoying the life that I had in the second act, then I will be different. It means I will have to, first of all, maybe look at the type of business that would be on par, that will bring in the type of income. But then again, you have to be willing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be willing to do the work.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's very important to decide what type of life you want to enjoy. That's the first thing, because the type of life you want to enjoy will determine what you need to do, and how you have to prepare for that life on the third act stage.
Yeah.
You mentioned also, for me, friends are very important. I love the idea of connecting with people, and that's how we have connections, right? And I have friends who are already in the 70s, and I knew them from way before. And I saw how when they went into that third act stage, enjoying life. And I'm there with them enjoying life. I never saw them as too old to do what they're doing. Some still very, very active in their careers, looking great, and we still enjoying life, and we'll continue to do that. So it is important, again, who you surround yourself with, because I am surrounded by very positive, happy people.
Yes.
And I'm not saying life is perfect. Of course, we know we have challenges, but when you are surrounded by positive people and you have your set goals, when it's setback, when the challenges come, you have that support. You know, someone telling you can do it, and you see it happening. It makes a difference.
Jennifer, let me ask you, because one of our buckets, we have our 3 buckets: take care of yourself, take care of your finances, and then take care of that community, keep your tribe around you. What is it that you've done over and up, just like you budget and you have a plan? How do you manage to maintain friendships over years that survive changes in career, that survive changes in residence, that survive changes in marital status, changes in parental status? What are the things that you make sure that you do to ensure that your community, your tribe stays around you so you could continue to enjoy life? Because a lot of people in our stage don't know how to do that.
I would say because my personality is one very open. I am told, and I believe it too, from way back before I started coaching, when I went into the industry also, I am not judgmental. I like people. I like to support. I like to help. I'm very authentic. I tell it as it is, but maybe it's how I say it. It's not that I'm a walkover, and it's not that I embrace everyone who come to me, because if you come negative,
she's stubborn.
If you come negative,
nicely stubborn.
But I know how to step away, Terry, and I think that's the other thing. I know how to step away from the negative energy and the negative vibes. As I get older, and now, and that's the other thing with the aging and going into a different act, or the second act, being in the industry, you would say, some people might say, I'm very assertive, because I have to be assertive, you know, in the role I was in. But yet still, I would find a lot of people coming into me to chat with me because they felt I was easy to chat with. So with friends, I embrace those people, my friends. I always embrace my friends from way back. I see what they bring to my friendship, what I love about them, I am open with them, and I think being open with them, they're open with me. And if a friend may relate that they may not like something that I may do or say, etc., I would try. I would amend that, because I want them to be happy. I want them to benefit from the friendship.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to prove that I'm right.
Yeah. I think one thing also, Jennifer, that I would say that I think is that you don't do, and perhaps people who have difficulty carrying friendships across life stages and life positions and stuff like that, is that, as you say, you know who you are and you are very anchored in who you are. The person, Jennifer, what you did for a living, your profession, where you live, just happened to be time and space issues. It didn't define you. So therefore, a friend who would have been at school with you, the person who was at school in service commission, startup, catching the tail with insurance, rising through the ranks, coming out of it, becoming, it's the same Jennifer.
Yeah.
So therefore, friends at different periods in your life could still recognize their friend. For some of us, as we move in different circles and move in different places, we become different till we land up at the door of the third act, and we can't even recognize ourselves. And we wonder where the friends were and how, and we can't define where's our tribe, where's our community. And I think that's one of the things that you do very, very admirably, because we've known each other for, oh God, it's plenty years. We've known each other. We weren't friends for that whole period, but you are the exact same person today that you were then. And I think that is one of the very important factors that allow anyone to step back to any point in their life, to a relationship that existed at any point in their life, whether it was a teenager, whether it was in your 20s, in your 30s, that you could step back and still have a connection, still have a relationship, whether it's with an individual, in a church group, in a social group, in a line, in a whatever it is. And I think that is so important.
Because Terry, and you mentioned one of our conversations about status. There are people who, in the second act, it's all about status. You know, who they are, the level they are, who they're alignment with, everything. It's all about status. And in the third act, when they may not be able to carry that status with them, especially if status was the position they were in,
not them,
and in the organization, and they're no longer holding that position, they don't know how to, you know, we say how to come down, how to relax, right? But I never had that issue. I never had that issue, and you're quite correct. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And so I never had friends. For me, didn't have to be persons at my level. You know, that wasn't a criteria. Being at my level wasn't a criteria. Being genuine, being just a beautiful person, you know, sharing my goals and values, etc. For me, that is what I look for in a friend. You know,
I think, Jennifer, you're a great ambassador for the third act in that sense, because on all the categories, you've organized yourself financially. You are healthy. You are here. You are vibrant. You are alive. You're active. You're even now we changing, coming out of comfort zones, and you have a cohort of friends that transcend all from every single part and parcel of your life. And I think that is a great and huge blessing, that someone could get to the stage, you're approaching your 69th birthday, and you could still have such a wide range of people to support, to share, laugh with, to share, joke with, and have that community. And it's so important. And I really, really do think that a lot of people, you could be an example for
well, no,
doing that.
I'm not I know, pedestal, please. We have challenges like
It's your birthday,
Terry
go on the pedestal.
health, you know, we have the challenges. So we have the health challenges, etc. But self-care is important. We do things. And I must say with friends, I have so many friends in different categories. So for the health part, I know those who are the fitness one who will take walks with me. I had a friend walking for years every morning, you know. So that was for my health, to keep me going. You have those I know when it comes to spirituality. A friend I know I could call on, or she could call me anytime. You say, okay, let's go to church, let's do a retreat, etc. You have those who will say, on a Friday, let's go take a drink. I don't drink, but I go in. Just unwind.
You don't drink alcohol, I love that. You drink.
So, so the friends in different categories, I love that. And still when we all come together, they can really, yes, mix and have fun. And that keeps me going, Terry. And that keeps me very happy. When I'm down, I don't be down very often. Yeah. But if I go into any challenges, I know there's always a friend I can call on.
I think that is so very, very important. So Jennifer, so you are going to be 69 on Friday. Yes. And for the last 2 years, we have been into Connections 50 plus. I mean, going from that coach morphed into Connection 50 plus and stuff like that. Let me ask you, given the work that we've been doing, what we've been doing, has it changed anything about how you look at life and what you expect from life? This whole experience of creating Connections 50 plus and the kinds of things that we do.
Yes, I would say yes, it has. Okay, so I was 60, so I had plans for 60 to 70. So at 60, as I mentioned, I started the coaching, Connect coaching, doing that. And within the coaching, we went into different aspects of coaching. And by 65, was it 65? How old was 60? Yep. And I met Terry Ann.
In a different context. In a different context.
In a different context. I shouldn't say met. Looking at the business. Because at that stage, again, I thought 65 or 5 more years, simple. Can I go at this? I always look at, can I go at this pace? Because I want to enjoy life too. Yeah. And I wanted to change the way I was doing I wanted to change my business model, actually. And I'm always open to new ideas. And that's how Terry Ann invited me to a session, and I met Terry Ann. So my thinking at the time was, yes, I will still continue business, but I need support now. I needed somebody younger to come to support me. I saw myself, I needed an injection of something new. So yes, I find as you grow older, as you're going into the third stage, you keep changing, but I'll say all positive changes. And I thought at the time that I felt I had an experience, an interview, corporate, to do a workshop, actually. And I was interviewed by 2 very young HR managers. Young, of course, because of the age I was, right? So I saw them young. And their line of questioning, I came out of that interview, I felt I was, to me, I was the best person to deliver that particular program. But I didn't get that feedback from them that I was really the best person. What was my takeaway then was that she's too old to do this. Yeah. Somehow I got that vibes. I went home, I called my daughter, elder daughter, and I told her how I felt. And she said, Mommy, you may have to really look at your services, because really and truly, and we say it now, what you're offering, the way you're offering it, you are competing with a much younger professionals. And we, at that time, we didn't talk about second stage and third stage, but it was like, okay, you need to hand over the baton. Look at things differently. So I didn't feel insulted. I wasn't upset. I accepted, because I knew when my daughter spoke to me, she wasn't speaking. It was advice saying that she's also on that early stage.
Yeah.
So she understood how those HR managers was thinking, and was sharing with me that, hey, why not look at serving people on your stage?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and that's the idea. I got that. You know what? I have all the experience. I feel good. I am energized. Let me look at people 50 plus. And I did, as I said, I did these studies before. After I did the coaching, I went back and I did the energy coaching to be an energy leadership practitioner. So I felt I was ready to energize the third stage.
Yeah.
And that's where Terry and we met and we chatted and created Connections 50 plus, where yes, we could energize the third stage.
And you know, it is amazing. And the lesson to be learned is that, you know, you may have left the second act stage. You may be kind of drifting because you don't know. You still remain open, because as Jennifer gave her story of where she was, I was a consultant in corporate work. And I was like, you're dealing with clients, you're in environments, and I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this kind of work. I did this all my life. This is not how I want to be using my talents and skills. And there was a restlessness. And I just started inviting groups of people to my house, just talk. And I'm sitting down there and we have all kinds of weird conversations coming up. I have a room in my house we call the Blue Room. And we talk, and same with Jennifer and I cross paths, and she came to one of them. I think that was a sushi night we were doing. We were making sushi. And we talk, and Jennifer is talking about where she's going. There were about 6 of us in the room, and we're just going, and we just clicked. You were going to do a program, and I think I had attended one of your workshops, and that's how I said, come to the next talk. And you were going, I said, come and talk on that. And we just started realizing that we were not on the same path, but wanting the same kinds of end. And I always go back to the issue of values. And one thing led to another, till Connect Coach disappeared for you. Sandstone Consulting kind of disappeared. It's the background of a corporate structure, but Connections 50 plus emerged. And the point that we make to our 50 plus cohort to you is stay open, keep exploring, keep talking, keep reaching out. Don't withdraw and go into yourself and get afraid. Don't try to cling on, you know. And it's been a blast, you know. So
when you stay open, Terry-Ann, you're quite correct. When you stay open, but you had a plan before, because you know you have to move on. As I said, I knew I had to move off from that into something new. So I had an idea that I'm moving on, something new, and I need that support. And with that open mind, the universe sends that person to you.
I knew that I wanted to change. Didn't have a clue how I was going to do it, but I knew I wanted to get off of this treadmill of doing consultancy in the way I did. And Jennifer and I are both deeply praying people. I am not a saint, but I am a prayer. And I just said, you know, let me just start inviting different people, and let's just sit and see what comes. Talk. We have some wine, have something to eat, do different things. And I had about 4 of those, and you know it. So again, just stay open. Your talent is in here, your destiny is out there. It's like Holy Week. It's like Shelter Liberation is like holy.
Yeah.
You know, it's
You feel
spring, something is coming. Just stay
liberation. And
you know.
And you know, Terry Ann, as you talk about being liberated, what is a good thing to do also? I love to celebrate. I'm on to celebrate a lot. That makes you feel good. You're celebrating life. You're celebrating life. You don't have to win the lottery or anything like that.
Oh.
You are alive. And for the time you're alive. And let me share one other thing with the aging process, it's being in the third act stage. They have, I focus a lot, as I always say, on the positives and to keep my energy high. But really, you also deal with, you know, friends dying, friends being very ill. You have that aspect of it. I circulated a poem this week on Facebook about how we deal with the loss of a friend, loss of a family member, etc. That is an aspect of the being, especially, yes, you can die at any age, but I face reality now that when you're in the third act, when you reach this stage, that is a reality, you know. And I had last year, 3 extremely very, very close friends of mine, you know, died. And this year already had one. How do you deal with this time when you still have to go with your goals and you're not feeling that you're just waiting that it could be me next in that way, and you find yourself just staying at home and going within and just with grief? We have to be very careful with that, because it is not an easy thing to do, to cope with it and continue, and don't feel badly like, look, you enjoying yourself and my friend there is doing well at all. You know, this is where Terry and I would say, your faith, you have to have so much faith and know that you live your life today, enjoy life, keep going towards your goal, because none of us know when that day will come.
Don't live another person's journey. Don't leave your path to go onto somebody else's suffering, especially.
Yeah, and you asked Sarian how I feel at this stage. I would say, and I mentioned to you, because I had to deal with the other death recently, and I'm saying, okay, God, if you tell me I have 3 more days, because in my situation, they told my friend she only had 5 more days. If that was you, what would you do? And you know what, Terry Ann? My 5 days will be days in gratitude and in prayers and thanking God for where I am today. Not focusing on, I don't have regrets. And I was thinking, I have nobody to forgive. You know, some people at the end of the days, who you want to forgive? I'm okay. I don't have regrets. I have nobody to forgive. Why? Because this stage in my life, I don't want to live like that. I want to live in gratitude.
Jennifer, I remember that conversation, and I remember how we ended the conversation. And I want to end our show today in the same way that we ended the conversation, because we were talking about, okay, if you had 5 days to live or whatever it is, what? And we both agreed that absolutely nothing will change in our lives. We will continue with what we're doing, where we are. And to me, that is the pure and quintessential definition of happiness. So with that, my friend, I want to wish you
I have my glasses.
I'm not telling anybody what I drink, and Jennifer drinking water. I want to wish you all the best for your 69th birthday coming up on Friday, approaching the 70th year. your stage is nicely built and you're doing your stuff and you're dancing, you're starring.
I'm enjoying the stage. Yes.
You know, so we, the whole Connections 50 Plus world, the Gaia world, the YouTube world, the Facebook world, the IG world, the Twitter world, Belize, Jamaica, Bahamas, Cuba, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, Cayman Islands, I never called Cayman Islands, Antigua, Montserrat, Barbuda, St. Vincent, Grenada, Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Vincent, Barbados, St. Belize, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago. I sure leave out some in the Lesser Antilles. Sorry. Happy birthday, Jennifer. Everybody raise
Thank you
to Jennifer. And next week is the big week. Next week we are 2 years old, and our show next week is going to be super duper. So let me tell you, stay tuned, because the grand reveal is going to happen hopefully next week. So, Jennifer, love you much. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And to all of the whole audience, keep in touch. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and followers from TNT and the Caribbean. Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus Wednesday live show. We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.